Coming up next on News 4 at 11, a federal judge rejects a Seneca Nation land claim on Grand Island. George Rickert wraps up today's events in a live report next.
The Home Depot tour continues in Hawaii with special guests Bruce Willis plus Connie Chung, the CBS mailbag, and the top 10 ways the Army is celebrating its birthday. First, your local news.
Straight ahead, the Seneca Nation of Indians may not own Grand Island after all, and an unthinkable crime against a disabled woman in South Buffalo. A former Erie County sheriff is dead, and police capture the man wanted for questioning in the disappearance of a Salt Lake City teen. News 4 at 11 starts right here, right now. Good evening, everyone. The Seneca Nation of Indians has lost a land claim that dates back more than 2 centuries. That's good news for the people on Grand Island, which is where we find News 4's George Rickert. George?
Well, Ryan, Grand Island homeowners started breathing easier about 1.5 years ago when they learned that any judgment in this case would be monetary, and it wouldn't involve them losing their homes or their lands. Today, they found out that the case has been dismissed entirely. After 9 years, a lingering Indian land claim against Grand Island is dismissed, and homeowners can breathe easier.
Well, it was somewhat expected. I didn't really feel that the claim had much grounding.
These islanders love this place, and they're not going to give it up, and I don't think there's a resident that would give it up. We just wrote it out.
Grand Island realtor Betty Harris says it's taken this long for the Grand Island housing market to re-stabilize.
People, I think, took $20,000, $25,000 losses on their houses. In some cases, those that had to leave that were being transferred were hit the hardest. They didn't ride it out.
And so I think those people who have a concern or had a concern about the future of their property are probably going to sleep better tonight.
In a 215-page ruling, federal judge Richard Arcara concluded that if there was a party who acted unfairly toward the Senecas, it was the United States, not New York.
He has rendered a decision that has rejected the plaintiff's claim on virtually every single issue and every single count.
But the lawyer who initiated the lawsuit, Joe Krangle, says New York's purchase of the Niagara Islands back in 1815 was never formally approved by the U.S. government.
Under federal law, a Seneca Nation cannot give up any land unless the federal government approves it. The federal government did not approve, so therefore the transfer never took place in 1815.
There didn't need to be congressional approval for New York State to acquire it because we acquired it from Great Britain. When we won the Revolutionary War, we didn't acquire it from the Seneca Nation.
Now both the Seneca Nation and the U.S. government have the right to appeal in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and at least the Seneca Nation is expected to appeal, so it's not over completely yet. Live on Grand Island, George Rickert, News 4 at 11.
Cancer has claimed the life of a well-respected lawman. Former Erie County Sheriff Kenneth Braun died today. Braun started his career as a Marine before joining the Amherst Police Department, where he advanced to the rank of captain. He later served 9 years as Erie County Sheriff. Braun is survived by his wife, Mary, and several children. He was 76 years old. A bank in Snyder appears to be a popular target for thieves these days. Police say a man held up the HSBC branch on Main Street in Snyder this afternoon. That's the second time the bank has been hit in less than a week. Officers say the bandit handed the teller a threatening note demanding cash. The suspect is described as a black male wearing a football jersey with the name George on the back. Police aren't sure if the two robberies are related. Someone pulled off a sickening stunt in South Buffalo. Police are trying to track down the person who stole a young woman's wheelchair ramp. News 4's Kathy Stradiff is outside A District headquarters on South Park Avenue. Kathy?
Ryan, Karen Andre and her family have been struggling ever since someone stole a vital piece of her life. 23-year-old Karen Andre relies on her wheelchair. It enables her to live, to move, to function every day. But earlier this week, a key accessory to her wheelchair was stolen, along with her independence.
I was appalled. Just totally shocked, disbelief. How could anybody do something like this?
Family members say someone stole Karen's 7-foot aluminum wheelchair ramp from right in front of her South Buffalo home during the middle of the night earlier this week.
I just felt really sad, and it hurt my feelings that that someone would do that to someone that uses a wheelchair for independence.
Okay. Now Now, Karen's mother, Denise, has to carry her daughter up the stairs to their home. Neighbors helped her construct this makeshift ramp so she can at least wheel Karen's chair inside.
It's made of plywood and wood, and it works, but it's not going to be sufficient in the wintertime. It's not going to be safe.
Before, Karen could use her ramp year-round. Now, her family isn't sure what she's going to do when it rains or when winter returns. Bottom line, they're heartbroken that someone could steal something so vital.
Things are tough enough when you're disabled, and then this just, made it so much more inconvenient and so unnecessary.
Meanwhile, Buffalo police are searching for suspects, and Karen's grandmother is hopeful whoever did this will find it in their heart to bring the ramp back.
You could come and return them in the middle of the night just like you stole them. Come and bring them back and no questions asked.
Until then, Karen's family says they'll make do, so she doesn't suffer. And Karen's family tells us the ramp costs about $1,000. They plan to look into insurance to see whether or not they can cover a new one. Live in South Buffalo, I'm Kathy Stradiff. News 4 at 11.
The FBI is issuing another terrorist warning, this one involving fuel tankers. But that's not the only reason why authorities around the country are on alert tonight. Here's CBS's Aline Sergani.
The FBI is warning that terrorists might use fuel tanker trucks as weapons in another attack on the United States. Bureau officials say while precise targets are not known, they could include fuel depots or Jewish schools and synagogues. In Florida, President Bush says America can't afford to let its guard down.
Anytime we get any kind of threat that we think is serious, we'll put it out, and people need to respond accordingly.
The FBI is also investigating a Nevada man's claim that he overheard Arabic speakers plotting to attack Las Vegas on, quote, the Day of Freedom. The Lebanese American says he picked up the conversation on his cell phone and that he thought it could be referring to the 4th of July.
It was only in Arabic, not even one word of English. We are here in the city of corruption. We are here in the city of gambling and prostitution, the city of the unbelievers. And they are talking about freedom. We are going to hit them in the day of freedom.
In New Jersey and New York, officials are on alert for anyone trying to obtain an emergency vehicle. The concern comes after two Middle Eastern men reportedly tried to buy a fake ambulance in New Jersey. The FBI has interviewed one of the men and says it appears he had no ill intention. Officials also plan to speak with the other man.
In another alert, the FBI has also contacted hundreds of scuba diving shops out of fear that the next round of attacks could be carried out by divers. Aline Sergani, CBS News, Washington.
The Bush administration is raising the red flag when it comes to classified information. Following a complaint from Vice President Dick Cheney, Congress is asking the Attorney General to investigate the leak of top-secret intelligence to the news media. The inquiry comes in the wake of a Washington Post report that claims the National Security Agency intercepted Arabic statements predicting a major event the day before September 11th. There's been more bloodshed in the Middle East tonight, but it's not a suicide bomber making headlines. CBS's David Hawkins reports on an Israeli assault in the West Bank.
They were shopping for food, believing a 3-day curfew had been lifted. They were wrong. Israeli tanks operating in Jenin today opened fire without warning on the city's fruit and vegetable market. 4 Palestinians were killed, 3 of them children. According to Palestinian hospital officials, more than 24 were injured. Jenin remains under curfew and is off limits to journalists seeking to independently confirm accounts of the incident. The Israeli army says its initial inquiry indicates its soldiers made a mistake.
The matter is under full investigation. In the last 3 days, 33 Israelis lost their lives to terror, 31 of them civilians, and all of them were killed on purpose.
2 suicide bomb attacks in Jerusalem this week and the murder of an Israeli woman, 3 of her children, and a security guard at a West Bank settlement last night have prompted the Israeli military to move into 6 Palestinian cities. Israel's new strategy is to reoccupy more and more Palestinian territory after every terrorist attack. Palestinian militants are ignoring President Yasser Arafat's call for a halt to attacks on Israeli civilians. Arafat now says he accepts a peace plan proposed by President Clinton 18 months ago, a plan that called for a Palestinian state and for refugees to give up their right of return to Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, who opposes the Clinton plan, says now is not the time for peace talks.
We cannot move forward, though we would like to move forward, until the terror stops once and for all.
But Palestinian terrorists show no sign of stopping. Israeli tanks are again on the roll, while the peace process is going nowhere. David Hawkins, CBS News, near Geneva.
The latest on wildfires continuing to rage out west. That's just ahead. And wait until you hear where police found the man wanted for questioning in the kidnapping of a Salt Lake City teenager. And 2 drug companies want to make it easier for all of us to buy the world's most popular prescription drug.
Plenty deluges are done for tonight, but what about this weekend? My updated weekend forecast coming up in a couple of minutes.
Closed captioning of News 4 is sponsored by the personal injury practice of Jeffrey Friedman Attorneys.
A new world of luxury. The Northdown Lexus.
If you want a great steak meal with a western kind of feel, come on and get it.
When the sun sets in the western sky, come to Ponderosa for our new 10-ounce top sirloin steak. Cut thick to satisfy and flame grilled. It's served with a house salad, garlic toast, hot vegetables, and your choice of potato for just $8.99. At that price, you can bring everyone along.
Come on and get it. Come on and get it.
Ponderosa Steakhouse.
Not all superheroes wear tights and capes.
What?
Some wear pretty dresses.
That's so cool.
Ready? Ready!
You dare to challenge me?
You're it. They are a little freak, aren't they?
And they're out to save the world before bedtime.
Pat, you're it.
The Powerpuff Girls movie.
You won!
Rated PG. Starts Wednesday, July 3rd.
Visit Western Ford of Hamburg for finance rates as low as 0% and rebates up to $3,500.
Then visit Western Ford of Amherst, and with $199 down, you may qualify for a new auto loan regardless of your credit history.
Pat, everyone knows we have the best selection in Western New York.
But does everyone know we have the best sales team in Western New York?
So it really doesn't matter which great location you visit, Hamburg or Amherst.
You'll get the best price with the best service. That's why we're New York State's largest volume Ford dealership.
You're watching WIVB-TV, proudly serving Buffalo, Niagara Frontier, and all of Western New York. With Carol Jason, Don Postles, sports with Dennis Williams, and weather with meteorologist Don Paul. Now, live from Channel 4 in Buffalo, this is News 4 at 11.
Police still can't find Salt Lake City teenager Elizabeth Smart, but they did find the man wanted for questioning in this highly publicized case. CBS's Jim Acosta has the latest.
2,000 miles from Salt Lake City, the only fugitive in the case of Elizabeth Smart checked himself into a West Virginia hospital after a drug overdose.
He continues to remain in serious condition in our critical care unit at this time.
When he comes around, Brett Michael Edmonds will be asked what he knows about the missing 14-year-old and why he's been on the run for 2 weeks.
He's a question mark, and we want to put a period on that question mark, and that's all it is at this time.
Though he's not an official suspect, police say he may have been spotted by a milkman outside the Smart home just before Elizabeth disappeared. After the kidnapping, the 26-year-old drifter raised eyebrows when he joined a candlelight vigil for Elizabeth and then vanished.
We're not going to hang our hat on anything until we have Elizabeth in our hands.
Even though relatives are responding with caution, the break in the case is a boost to a family that is weary from days of emotional appeal.
I would do anything to have her back in my arms.
So far, investigators have discovered no signs of Elizabeth in Edmonds' car, which was found parked outside the hospital. Forensic experts plan to scour the vehicle for any DNA evidence. And investigators say they might record Edmonds' voice so it can be played for Elizabeth's little sister. She told police she saw the kidnapper, but described a man who bears little resemblance to Edmonds. Jim Acosta, CBS News, Salt Lake City.
The most popular prescription drug on Earth could soon be sold over-the-counter at full prescription strength. CBS's Elizabeth Callahan reports on a bid to sell Prilosec to the masses.
The purple pill has been a gold mine, earning as much as $6 billion a year and status as the world's best-selling drug.
If it isn't purple, it isn't Prilosec.
Now the drug maker AstraZeneca, in partnership with Procter & Gamble, is hoping over-the-counter status can keep profits trickling in, generic competitors out, and heartburn at bay.
Prilosec over-the-counter is a way for people to prevent their heartburn before it happens.
Rejected for over-the-counter sales once before, this time the company has promised to market it for prevention instead of treatment. It will be sold at full prescription strength. With an estimated 40 million Americans suffering from heartburn, there's definitely a market. But doctors are divided about whether Prilosec can be taken safely without medical supervision.
We don't want to mask missing a gastric cancer. And we can do that by continuing to take a medication as strong as Prilosec that's going to eliminate our symptoms.
Prilosec will be recommended once a day for 14 days. People still experiencing discomfort are urged to see a doctor. Today's recommendation is part of an emerging trend to allow people with chronic conditions to treat themselves. Drug company consultant Steve Francesco says the trend comes with risks and benefits.
You shouldn't deny the use of this product to a large population because of a few people who may not catch on that they should see a doctor.
The cost of the drug will drop from about $3.50 a day to about $1 a day. The FDA generally follows the recommendations of its advisory panels. Elizabeth Callahan, CBS News, New York.
Western wildfires are now raging out of control in 6 states, and none show any sign of slowing down. One blaze has already charred 120,000 acres of land in eastern Arizona, and there's plenty of dry timber to keep it going. The flames also devoured more than a dozen homes in the region. Temperatures nearing 2,000 degrees are keeping firefighters away from the front line. Up closer to home, the weekend is upon us. Let's check in with Don Paul and see how things are looking.
Well, I can guarantee you it's going to be steamy all weekend. The big forecast problem is trying to predict how much of that steam down here in the ground will be lifted up into the atmosphere where it's cold enough to condense and precipitate. There will be enough water vapor to make up to 2 inches of rain at any given time tomorrow afternoon, for example, but the triggers to lift it are very unimpressive, very weak. And with all that in mind, I think the vast majority of time this weekend it will not be raining at your house. The threat will be there, though. 68 at Barker, not much rain, but with some weakening thunder showers. Barker did get the strongest wind gusts, 46 miles per hour. At the Buffalo Airport, we're a little warmer than that. 70, down 1 degree in the last hour, but it is muggy. 93% the humidity. The winds from the south at 8. Our stats for today, for the second day in a row, we hit 86, and yesterday and today are the only days we've gotten that warm this year. 64 the low, no precipitation at the airport, but we did pick up 1/100th of an inch here. We were deluged. Well, here are the WeatherNet temperatures, some of them. A few moments ago, we still have 71 up at Newfane and 70 at Roy Hart, but mostly upper 60s there in Niagara and Orleans County, still some low 70s in Metro Erie County, and not too much cooler in the southern tier either. Humidity is high at all the locations. Look what happened to our showers and thunderstorms. They're gone, but there is still a little bit of a boundary in the atmosphere, something that started out as a cool front, and along any boundary when you have moisture-laden air like this, thunderstorms can refire. And look at all the water vapor in this water vapor imagery that's available in the Great Lakes, curling around with weak upper-level winds. Any thunderstorms that form will move slowly, giving them the chance to really dump a lot of rain. This is the dry air we had yesterday. That's gone for a while. Now, let's look at satellite and radar imagery in the bigger picture. Ours have fizzled. We still do, though, have a tornado watch out here in parts of Iowa all the way back to South Dakota, and some showers and storms in the western lake. And a few of these could lean in here in the morning. The heat of the afternoon, though, will tend to cook up more. We're going to stay in the steamy air mass all weekend with not that much sunshine on either day, but there will be some. The atmosphere will be unstable. The heat of the afternoon should pop up a few that will tend to die out gradually in the evening and refire on Sunday, but there are some signs we may get fewer showers on Sunday.
And then this little bubble of drier air will get in here for one whole day on Monday, give us a break before the next batch of humidity gets in here. For tonight, a muggy night, only isolated showers or thunder showers are possible toward dawn. Most places rain-free, 62 to 68. Tomorrow, limited sun and quite muggy. Spotty thunderstorms, most of them in the afternoon, but we could get one in the morning. Often rain-free, 80 to 83. Hazy out there in the lakes. Hard to see any storms approaching you. 1 to 2 foot waves. And any thunderstorm can produce a torrential downpour. The storms that we have weaken tomorrow night, by late night. A few more may refire on Sunday, but again, rain-free much of the time, a little breezier on Sunday, 2 to 4 foot waves. Monday, a little less humid, and then the humidity comes right back at us. Tuesday and Wednesday, and Ryan, it looks like we will not get back into a really longer-term drying pattern until the end of next week into next weekend. It's not going to turn cold, but a little cooler and a lot less humid.
All right. Thank you, Don. Still to come on News 4 at 11, celebrating the longest day of the year in downtown Buffalo. And in sports, the Bills make a couple of moves. One may surprise you. Dennis Williams has that and more next. Stock prices took another nosedive on Wall Street. The Dow plunged 178 points to close at 9,253. The S&P 500 was down 17 points, and the NASDAQ dropped 24 points. News 4 at 11 continues in just a moment.
News 4 Neighborhood WeatherNet has been sponsored by the auto injury attorney William Mattar.
Like that, it's gone.
Take the Mercury Value Challenge for a Gone Too Soon $3.99 lease on Mercury Mountaineer.
And when I look inside a Mercury Mountaineer, I see everything I could ever want. Leather everywhere, power everything, including adjustable foot pedals, keyless entry, privacy glass, luggage rack, fog lamps, everything.
Now lease Mercury Mountaineer for $3.99 with $27.98 cash due at signing.
It'll be gone, just like that.
The Mercury Value Challenge ends soon.
The City Mattress mid-year clearance means big savings and a better night's sleep. But it ends Saturday.
Whether you're heading around the town or just around the corner, Chevy Cavalier's got you covered with a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain promise. So your friends aren't the only ones you can depend on. Now you can count on $3,000 cash back on Cavalier. That's $3,000 cash back and a powertrain promise. Cavalier, see your local Chevy dealer. We'll be there. When you need to know the weather, call 844-4444. The News 4 weather line, 844-4444. Sponsored by Gary Pools and Leisure. Now, News 4 continues with the latest in sports.
Business as usual is good news for Sabres fans in regards to tomorrow's NHL draft. The organization usually does an excellent job selecting players. Small market teams rely heavily on good drafts, and the Sabres say they have no financial restraints heading into their draft.
The people that we draft on Saturday, we've got really a year, 2 years to sign those players, so that's really not an issue. Then we've got the restricted free agents, and for us in Buffalo, that's the focus for our hockey club, given our budget, and we are operating under a budget, and we'll continue to do so.
The Sabres have the 11th and 30th picks in the first round tomorrow. The Bills made a couple of moves, including signing veteran receiver Charles Johnson. Johnson was drafted by Tom Donahoe in Pittsburgh in '94. He played 5 years for the Steelers, 2 in Philly, and last year in New England. The Bills love to heat up the competition at positions where they appear to have depth. The Bills also announced that they have signed 5th-round pick Justin Bannon. Bannon is a defensive tackle from the University of Colorado and the first of the Bills' 2002 picks to sign. To baseball now, the Bisons finished up their homestand with the Toledo Mud Hens tonight, sending their best pitcher over the last month to the Hill. Tim Drew entered tonight with 8 straight wins, but all good things must come to an end. Drew gave up 6 runs, left in the 6th. Jody Garrett just called up from AA Akron. Double scores Chris Coast and Chad Alley to cut the Toledo lead to 3-2. But the Pies would give up 5 runs in the 6th, including this RBI single by Chris Wakeland. Toledo wins 9-3. Bisons now head out on the road for 9 games. Tigers and Marlins, school's out, kids are having some fun. How about Luis Castillo? Castillo hits the glove off Steve Sparks, and the streak extends to 35 games. He's now tied with Ty Cobb. Mike Lowell then in the 5th drives in Castillo to make it 2-1. Marlins go on to beat the Tigers 4-1. The Save Mart 350 is one of the few road course races on the Winston Cup circuit. Today was qualifying from Sonoma, California, and Tony Stewart won the pole at Sears Point, his first pole in 58 starts. Kurt Busch qualified 2nd, while Jeff Burton qualified 3rd, and 3-time winner of this race, Jeff Gordon, qualified 4th. We're never going to call the game football like the rest of the world, but the United States soccer team did open a few eyes with their World Cup run. It ended today in the quarterfinals against Germany, but a great game, 39th minute, the only goal, Michael Ballack with the header for the Germans to take the lead 1-0. They would go on to win by that final, moving on to the semifinals. To golf now, after 2 rounds of the Buy.com Tour's Lake Erie Golf Classic down at Peak & Peak, Omar Aresti leads at 8 under. Locals Tim Freeze of Amherst and Mark Kirk of Hamburg did not qualify for the weekend. Meanwhile, the PGA Tour is at the Cannon Hartford Open. They had to remove a turtle from the green. Davis Love on the 15th hole with a long birdie putt to get to 8 under par. He is tied with Jonathan Kay and Bryony Baird for the lead. How about the Rochester International? That's where the ladies are playing right down the road. Kari Webb will save par. She finished at -8. She's tied with Mai Hyun Kim at 8 under par. Highlight of the nighttime, we're going back to Hartford for a great shot. This is Rory Sabatini on the 18th hole. This is how you finish your round. This is what keeps him coming back. Backs it up right into the hole for Eagle. Not bad. Always marvel at the guys being able to put that spin on the ball.
Amazing. All right, thanks, Dennis. When we come back, another jam session from Guitar Fest 2002.
News 4, your window on Western New York. Live from Toronto just minutes after the NHL revelation.
The league has been managing, I repeat, managing the Buffalo Sabres for the past 2 weeks.
With stunning news of Judge Artera's ruling in a 10-year court case between the Seneca Nation and Grand Island.
I'm sure that the Senecas will appeal it.
And warning you of a suspicious door-to-door money collection in Al Vatter's call for action report.
Luckily, we were able to stop payment on the check.
When it means something to you and your community, for today's news and tomorrow's weather, it's News 4. Introducing Rich for Life from the New York Lottery. 15 chances to instantly win $5,000 a week, every week, for life.
Occasionally, something comes along that captures your attention. Chrysler's Sebring sedan. Not only has it received an impressive safety award, it comes with this great combination of standard features. A combination most sedans in its class don't offer. So, Sebring sedan is one incredible value, no matter how you look at it. Chrysler Sebring sedan, under $17,000 after $1,500 cash allowance, and get a 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain pledge.
Take your place in history at Chase Performing Arts Center by having your name on a seat in the theater. This is a great way to recognize a loved one or an organization, honor a family member, and show your support to Chase. Call Chase today, 847-1410, extension 128.
Gonna do it my way, gonna do it my way. Gonna be the right way if I do it my way, yeah. Gonna be the right way.
You can't explain it until you have one of your own. The 2002 Accord from Honda.
Now lease the 2002 Accord LX for $239 a month for 48 months.
Well, some Buffalo residents use the longest day of summer as a way to raise money for a good cause. It's the second annual Summer Solstice at Darcy McGee's Irish Pub in Buffalo. The event featured a soul and Motown music theme, complete with baby back ribs and sweet potato pie. Money raised will benefit the Buffalo Federation of Neighborhood Centers and the summer daycare program. And the Buffalo Niagara Guitar Festival continues tonight with a performance by Dickie Betts and his band, Great Southern. The concert was held at the Trough on Main Street in downtown Buffalo. Betts is a former member of the Allman Brothers.
The power of 4x4 Doppler.
You're seeing the storm exactly where it is instead of where it was 10 minutes ago. You have a much more accurate picture of which towns are going to get shocked in the next few minutes.
4 Doppler radar locations working as one.
Not only do we have a live picture of western New York, but we can also see what's developing well to the west of us and what's happening even to the east.
It's awesome for severe weather. We can tell hours ahead of time when it may strike western New York.
4x4 Doppler, only on Weather Watch 4.
Y'all ready for this?
Ready for the choices. Something rugged, something powerful. It's Toyota's nationwide summer event featuring our top trucks.
And 2 deals just as tough to beat. $1,000 cash back on the full-size Tundra, V8 or 6. That's $1,000 cash back on any Tundra. Or exceptional financing on any tough Tacoma. The catch? You've got to hurry because this event ends soon. Y'all ready for this?
Get the Toyota you've been wanting now. We're ready. Are you?
Once upon a time, a dirty floor meant a lot of work. Not anymore, thanks to America's #1 mopping system, Clorox Ready Mop. Simply squirt, and the special Clorox floor cleaner gets your whole floor sparkling clean. The kind of clean you expect from Clorox. No more buckets, no more filthy water. When you're done, just toss the pad, dirt and all. Works great on wood, too. New Clorox Ready Mop, the extraordinary mop in a box from Clorox. Now we're making driving a Chevy even easier. 1, pick a Chevy SUV. 2, get big cash back. Or 3, get a low monthly lease payment. So 1, pick Trailblazer. 2, get $1,750 cash back. Or 3, current Chevy Smart Lease lessees can lease a 2002 Chevy Trailblazer LS 4x4 for as low as $349 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for important lease details. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get to your local Chevy dealer today.
Here are your winning lottery numbers, the daily numbers, 574. The win 4, 2120. Take 5. 3, 12, 13, 24, 37. And your Mega Ball, 13, 18, 32, 39, 49. And your Mega Ball itself is 6. 4-degree numbers, I went for 67. We got 64. Jackpot's up to $1,408. A few spotty thunder showers may refire by tomorrow morning. Humid. 4 degrees, 67. And coaches and boaters and Little League guys, use caution. Listen for thunder tomorrow. It's going to be hard to see. In that Golfers, too, yeah. Good warning. Yeah. All right, that does it for another week of News 4 at 11. Thanks for joining us. David Letterman is next. Gentlemen, have a good weekend. You too.